In the last video, we explored the life and reign of King Solomon, where many of you found out that not only was King Solomon a womanizer, but he was also involved in paganism, and he is the father of Freemasonry. So Solomon's story is captivating because it showcases Israel at its peak, demonstrating Yah's unmatched power and the heights to which he could elevate his chosen people. Solomon's wisdom, wealth, and influence spread far and wide, making Israel a beacon among other nations. But as we saw, even the greatest of leaders can fall prey to their weaknesses because despite his early accomplishments, Solomon's mistakes overshadow Israel's future, setting the stage for its decline. This decline didn't fully manifest until after Solomon's death, but Yah, true to his word, had already prophesied what was to come. This reinforces a powerful theme we've seen throughout this series. Yah keeps his word, whether it be promises of blessings or warnings of consequences. Israel did not feel the weight of these choices until Solomon's death, but Yah had already made his stance clear. God's message was that loyalty to him and obedience to his commands were non-negotiable, even for a king as powerful as Solomon. So why does this matter? Well, understanding this history is vital for several reasons. It explains why Israel would later expect a warrior king Messiah like David rather than the humble Savior Yeshua. It also clarifies the significance of the curses laid out in Deuteronomy 28, showing that the consequences of disobedience were not abstract but real and historically proven. So let's move on to the transition of power and division, because after Solomon's death, his son Rehoboam took the throne, but the unity of the kingdom was fragile because the prophet Ahijah had already foretold that the kingdom would be torn apart due to Solomon's failures. This transition of power was marked by tension and foreshadowed the greater strife to come. You see, Jeroboam, a servant of the tribe of Ephraim, who many say were the Tanos or the now Puerto Ricans, had previously been told by the prophet Ahijah that Yah would give him leadership over 10 tribes. Ahijah's act of tearing his garment into 12 pieces in 1 Kings symbolized the coming split of the kingdom. Yah declared that he would give 10 tribes to Jeroboam while preserving one tribe for Solomon's son for the sake of David and Jerusalem, his chosen city. So this division was not just political, it was deeply spiritual, rooted in Yah's desire to fulfill his covenant with David while still bringing judgment for disobedience. So when Rehoboam became king, the people of Israel, led by Jeroboam, approached him with a request to lighten the yoke Solomon had imposed. Now, Rehoboam's response was crucial. He sought counsel from the elders who advised him to be a servant leader, which would have united the people. However, he rejected their advice and followed the counsel of his younger peers, choosing harshness over compassion. His decision to increase the burden led to an immediate split, with the 10 northern tribes rejecting his rule and crowning Jeroboam as their king. This split marked the beginning of a new chapter in Israel's history. The once united kingdom was now divided into Israel, which were the northern tribes, and Judah, which were the southern kingdom. Now, each kingdom would be ruled by different kings, and their actions would either bring them closer to God or lead them further into idolatry and sin. Jeroboam who was now king of Israel, quickly strayed from Yah. He feared that if the people continued to go to Jerusalem to worship, their loyalty would return to Rehoboam. So to secure his reign, Jeroboam introduced idolatry by setting up golden calves in Bethel and Dan, telling the people, "Here are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." Now, this act mirrored the sin committed by the Israelites in the wilderness and set a dangerous precedent for future kings. Meanwhile, Rehoboam ruled over Judah and Benjamin from Jerusalem. Although Judah initially maintained some semblance of loyalty to Yah, Rehoboam's reign was marred by periods of idolatry and compromise. The people built high places, erected sacred pillars, and engaged in practices that provoked Yah, replicating the sins of their forefathers. Now, let's talk about the prophet Elijah and the defender of God's name. In a time when idolatry was rampant, Yah raised up prophets to remind his people of his power and holiness. Among them was Elijah, one of the most fearless prophets in history. Elijah's mission was to confront King Ahab, whose reign represented the epitome of evil in Israel. Influenced by his wife Jezebel, Ahab led Israel deeper into Baal worship, turning the nation away from Yah. One of the most dramatic moments in Elijah's ministry was the showdown on Mount Carmel. Elijah challenged Ahab and the prophets of Baal to a test whose God would answer by fire. Despite their desperate cries, Baal's prophets were met with silence. Elijah, confident in Yah's power, called on him, and fire descended from heaven, consuming the offering, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. The people fell on their faces, proclaiming, "Yah is God." This moment was not just a victory for Elijah, it was a reclaiming of Israel's allegiance to Yah, even if only for a time. Jezebel, enraged by the slaughter of Baal's prophets, threatened Elijah's life, forcing him to flee. God, however, protected Elijah, speaking to him in the wilderness and renewing his strength. Yah reminded Elijah that he was not alone and that 7,000 other people in Israel had not bowed to Baal. This reassurance is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest times, Yah has a remnant that remains faithful. So, these are the lessons and reflections. Elijah's courage is a lesson for believers today. His unwavering dedication to Yah in the face of immense pressure is a model of bold faith. His story is not just a historical account, it is a call to action for anyone who claims to follow Yah. In times when it feels like the world has turned away from God, Elijah's life challenges us to stand firm and trust that Yah is with us. Now, understanding Jezebel and Ahab's spirits is crucial. The influence of Jezebel and Ahab did not end with their deaths. The Jezebel spirit symbolizes manipulation, control, and opposition to Yah's prophets, while the Ahab spirit represents weak leadership that enables wickedness. Recognizing these spiritual influences is crucial for modern believers who seek to protect their communities. Here are the key takeaways from today's video. Solomon's disobedience set the stage for Israel's division. The 10 northern tribes formed Israel under Jeroboam's rule, while Judah and Benjamin became Judah under Rehoboam. Judah's preservation was due to Yah's covenant with David and his choice of Jerusalem. The kings of Israel consistently did evil in Yah's sight, embracing idolatry. Elijah's fearless stance against Baal's prophets exemplified loyalty and trust in Yah, and Elijah's ascension to heaven demonstrated Yah's reward for steadfast obedience. Now, moving forward in part 8, we will continue this story exploring the legacy of Elijah, the role of his successor Elisha, and the ongoing struggles between Israel and Judah. This part of Israel's history is rich with lessons and insights that are crucial for understanding the larger narrative of the Bible. I hope this video deepens your knowledge and inspires you to read these accounts for yourselves. This history is not just a story of the past, it is a testament to Yah's faithfulness and a call for his followers to rise with the spirit of Elijah, ready to stand against the Baals of this world. If this video enlightened you, don't forget to subscribe and share it with others. Let's keep the conversation about God's truth alive and inspire more people to know him deeply. Next time here